Ready?
Hello everybody, how you doing? You're welcome once again to another video on Ugo Creates and Comics TV. And my name is Uga Madi, creator and founder of Wahala Comics. And now today's topic, or rather the issue for discussion, not quite an issue, but what we'll be talking about on today's video is what makes a good comic. You know, we all love comics, that's why you're watching content such as mine. So what makes a good comic to you? Please, I'd love to see that in the comment section. For me, I think what makes a good comic is a mixture of things. So for you, what makes a good comic? Is it the artwork that does it to the book? Is it the story? Is it the character? Or is it the brand name? You know, because let's face it, because what does a brand name mean or imply? It tells you that the work is good. There's a track record of delivering excellent stories. So maybe you love your DC comics, so you get in DC comic that comes your way. In DC, once you see a DC comic, for you, you feel, yeah, that's it. You know, once you see a Marvel comic or an Image comic, you feel that's it. So, what makes a good comic book in your estimation? So, I have my own ideas, but first off, I would like us to look at a definition I saw on the interwebs, on the internet, or via Google. So quickly, I'll just put this up on here and let's read together. So it says, I hope this is clear for all to see. So it says, for many comic book experts, it is the balance between text and image that draws the reader in. The combination of text and image is essential to convey the unique message. And if either of these elements is removed, the story in a comic book no longer makes sense. And you know what? I agree. Because I think, first and foremost, a comic book tells a story, just as you have with a novella, a novel, you know, and other sort of means of storytelling, other media. You know, even your movies, your TV series are all telling stories. But with comic books, they're more visual, that is, as opposed to other printed medium or media or storytelling. So, first off, it's to tell stories. And the way it tells stories is mainly visual. So, what makes a good comic book, to my mind, not just based on the definition as well, but in agreement with the definition or with the explanation I've just read through, is the characters, is the visual illustration of the characters, the visual representation of the characters via the inking, the penciling, inking, and coloring, the artwork you see on the page of the comic book, and then the text. So what they say, how you know what they say, because what the characters say in the comic book, just as in other medium, is how is essentially how they interact on the pages of the book as well. And then the drawings help you capture their expression, capture the characters in the moment. But the text that includes the dialogue, includes the description of scenes, of pages and panels, you know, to my mind, you know, helps you get a better understanding of what the book is talking about. And then if you take any part of this, if you remove any part of this, then you don't get a full story. For instance, if you take out the illustration and just leave only the text, what you get is just monochromatic text, or rather, you have a text that exists in a vacuum and that really means nothing, you know. Also, if you just have the characters, you know, that's the drawings, the illustrations, the inking, and the pencil and ink arts, and in most cases, colored artwork of characters people, images, environments, and things like that. You have a wonderful picture, but that is where it ends. It extends to nothing else. It has no real meaning as well. So that is why, if you're involved in the comic book industry and you don't have all the skills, it's very important that you collaborate. Even if you do have all the skills, i.e., you're good inking, you're good at inking, lining, penciling, and coloring, and then you're also amazing at telling stories. But you wouldn't be perfect in all of these, and you would need to concentrate on one aspect of the job so as to produce um, as best a content or as best a comic book as possible. So it's important to get this because one thing is very important for us to understand that in today's space, if you're an indie comic creator, you'll know this. Comic books, I mean, in terms of artwork, you have amazing artists everywhere. You have amazing artists everywhere, you know. And then if you decide just to base on the arts you're producing, you're not telling a story. We also have some people who can tell stories, who can write scripts, but can't draw. They write amazing scripts, but they can't draw. So if they focus just on writing those scripts and using that skill set that they have alone, they won't be able to tell a very interesting, engaging, and sensory capturing story, via that as you would when you combine all the skills. So it's important to work collaboratively. For me, at Wahala Comics, I work collaboratively. I write scripts from start to finish. I create the characters, the concept for the characters. I prepare references and all that. But I do work with artists and illustrators to get the book, to get the artwork prepared and done. To get the artwork prepared, drawn, and ready to go. So, because what draws me in, and I guess you as well, what draws you in initially to a comic book is the art. So once you have that, you see that amazing artwork, you're instantly drawn to it, and then you get the book. But what keeps you flipping through the pages is the emotional connection you develop with these characters. The same thing goes for your readers as well. Is that emotional connection you build with your characters, with the characters on the pages of the book. And that emotional connection is not established by just by the artwork. It's established by how they act, which is on the basis of what the storyteller, of what the writer has written, and also what they say, which is also a byproduct of what the script writer has written. So the artwork gets a person into the book, but the actions, words, discussions, and how characters interact with themselves and the environments within that comic book, actually gets the reader to stay. And that is why you see when readers come to a point where there's a cliffhanger and then they want to get the next book and the next book and the next book. That is because they have developed an emotional bond with the characters and they want to see more of what happens to those said characters. So before I end the video, the two key things, the artwork and the written text script storytelling, very crucial to having a good comic book that will keep your readers spellbound, keep your readers engaged and wanting to get more of your books. So what we do not want to do ever as writers or as comic book creators, artists and everything is to walk alone, or is to place one art form or one skill above the other, because both skills work in synergy to create the amazing stories you see in the comic book. So if you want to go into comics, one thing for sure that that makes it good, the thing what makes your comic book good for sure is that two things: the storytelling via the text that includes description and dialogue, and sometimes monologue and soliloquy, and as well the artwork that goes into the book. So they're all melded together to give a perfect book, a perfect comic book. So let me know what you think. Drop your comments in the comment section. I say on this channel, you're free to disagree with me. Also, you're also free to agree with me. We can have a nice exchange. So don't worry, a live stream will be coming on very soon. Still planning how that would look like. And we've come to the end of today's video. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing. So keep doing what you've been doing. So like, subscribe, and share this channel. And do have a splendid rest of your day.